Chandra sir for creating this extraordinary space, spiritual space for us to cleanse ourselves and to become more of what we truly are. Our true nature is peace, joy, abundance. But we forgot that. And this is the time where we rediscovered ourselves. What's our true nature? Before coming to this workshop, I had here. So, but later on, when I sat into meditations, long sequence meditations, why I was not able to manifest that particular thing, rest of everything. I just think it will happen. If I wanted to become coach, it will happen. If I want to do this workshop, it will happen. If I want this, it will come to me. It's with easy. But this is something which is not happening for a longer time. And I was thinking, which thing I'm missing? You name it, I did it. Go to Abraham, I did. Law of attraction, do it. Heal your life, do it. Learn hypnotherapy, do it. Learn theta, advanced healing, learn it. Whatever I do, but still I was not able to manifest. Then I went into Upanishads also, Vedanta, learning Mandukya Upanishads. I had a mentor, I had a life coach. Even though I am a coach, I coach a lot of people. Still I had my own coach for my business, for my life, life. Still I was not manifesting. I was thinking, I'm doing every single day, don't believe me, more than 2 years, I'm with very regular, practicing spirituality, at least more than 8 to 9 hours of practice. Learning, reading, teaching. Very good student. I'm a great teacher. Before that, at the same time, I'm a wonderful, dedicated student. I will learn very nicely. Why I am not able to manifest is because there is a gap. The gap is what I want, what my soul wants is entirely different. And that I understood here. I was very skeptical when I got the intuition like this pyramid service and all. I didn't believe because I'm a digital marketer also. It's like service and all, I'll do it later or something. That I kept it. I didn't believe, I didn't convince myself why I'm getting, probably I'm imagining, probably I'm in pyramid, that's why I'm getting like this. Okay, probably with Chandra sir, because he will do service, probably I'm getting this. I was very skeptical, I didn't believe, I don't want to do that also. But later on, when I went to Tapasali, before going to Tapasali, after my school days, first time I jumped.
You have to summarize. We got to start the session now.
Yeah, in just 2 minutes, sir. I will not take much time. Yeah, first time I jumped, I found myself. I walked like an abundant. I dreamed myself like teaching to larger audience, everything. Keeping aside, Tapasali, something happened, the mystic experience, where I felt one with the universe. And I felt completely as an energy. And there also I was little skeptical because, Shiva is there, that's why I'm just imagining like this. So, because my body is spinning for 20 minutes. So then I was like, leave it. It's not a big thing, just take it light. And today, again, more than 2 hours, my body is spinning. I was not following what he's teaching. It's not at all, I'm not getting into my mind. I was into my own guidance. Basically, Shiva, after he started meditation, within 2-3 minutes, I went into, I realized myself, not this body. Really very clear that you are born for some bigger purpose. And all you have to do is empower people. This is the one statement which I'm getting again and again and again. So yesterday I spoke to Shankar sir and I said, I'll just some weekend I'll come and I'll teach people and I'll just leave. I'll do my own stuff. But After doing that, then I thought, let me do at least for a month of free seva to whomever is coming. Be it one-to-one coaching, be it my workshops. I do, abundance, relationship, wellness, lot of, workshops. I thought, whomever you wanted to get in touch with me, I think I will tell you which dates I will be available. You can come freely, you can get my services. I really felt that I wanted to do a service badly, madly. So that's my experience, and I feel proud of myself for I'm going to take 1 month of my time in my schedule, and I'm going to contribute. After that, don't know. Let's the divine help me. Thank you. Thank you for listening me. I really, really, love you all, bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Manjula. Can we start? Welcome, dear friends, for our 4th day of the manifestation and meditation sessions. Welcome to the PMC Valley, PMC English, and Buddha Seva Foundation channel viewers. We are discussing, we are understanding, we are exploring manifestation and meditation. In the last 3 days, in the first day, we constructed the model of manifestation. Second day, we applied it, personalized it to our own goals. And then we started practicing. Then third day, we went deeper, intense. We tried various things. And we're continuing the journey. I thought we'll recap what we learned so far. Cells that wire together, fire together. So the more times you recollect, repeat, the more you are taking into the subconscious, right? It's so important that we take time. That's the reason we're giving you a manual. So we keep referring to the manual, some of the slides, your notes. In addition to, again, let's do a recap once again. So this whole manifestation science can be summarized into those 3 energy science principles, or manifestation principles. Number 1, we are less matter, more energy, right? Now, spiritual science has an exact parallel to it. We are not the body, we are the soul. Now, modern science is corroborating exactly what the spiritual science always said. We are not the body, we are the soul. We are less matter, more energy. Number 2, we are infinite potential possibilities, because we are that unlimited field of, we are the field of that unlimited potential and possibilities. Now, spiritual science says that we are divine. We are Aham Brahmasmi. We are the divine. That's what spiritual science says. So we are unlimited potential possibilities. It is from quantum physics perspective. This is principle number 2. The third one, the quantum physics said your observation is collapsing the possibility. Our observation is manifesting the possibility into physicality. And spiritual science always said your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts create your respective realities. So there is a perfect match between the modern science and to the ancient sciences, right? Yad bhavam tad bhavati. So this is really these 3 principles that we are understanding, exploring. If our thoughts and feelings create our reality, and how much reality? Unlimited potential. Unlimited potential possibilities. And then manifest them as what? We are not energy, we are not matter, we are energy. So manifest them, access them in a way when you apply that first principle, that you go into that energy, you become that energy. You explore that. Or in other words, in spiritual sense perspective, you realize your soulhood, which is much, much larger. So this is a essence of the manifestation science principle that first we understood. Then the second, from there, we try to understand this through the quantum physics view. the quantum physics view is that, first of all, everything is emptiness. What we think is the matter, the body, quantum physics said it is all empty. 0.01% only is matter, 99.99% is empty. Second, when you go deeper, quantum physics said even that matter that we think we are this solid matter, quantum physics said is really wave and matter both. A wavicle, wave and particle both. Whatever that matter we think is actually energy. Wave is equal to energy. It is energy and then it is matter. And this energy is becoming matter, going back and becoming energy, and then oscillating always into the states. The third thing quantum physics said is that when they did this experimentation, which we learned from this double slit experimentation, that whenever you observe, then those matter, those particles are collapsing into physicality. This is the third thing that we learned as part of this deeper understanding of this quantum physics. Of course, quantum physics said that when this emptiness is there, in that emptiness, what exists is energy. And what is there in the energy, when they look into the deeper, they find information, which is traversing beyond the speed of light. That means it is instantaneous, right? And then what is influenced by, how is this information getting influenced, or what is there? It is influenced by thought, influenced by the feeling. It is electromagnetic energy, and that is carrying electromagnetic signature of information, which is fundamentally is influenced by the thought and a feeling. Every thought, every feeling is generating an electromagnetic signature. So that is going into this field and filling up the field, which is going beyond the speed of light, and then collapsing that possibility of whatever that we wish to have into the physicality. Right? So through this experimentation, that we understand a little more deeply that our observation, whatever that we want to have, wherever we put our attention, is manifesting into physicality. Now we have learned a little bit more. Every physical event or an experience, every physical event or an experience in our life is nothing but a sequence of these particles or the matter. Every physical event experience is nothing but a sequence of this particle or the matter, of yours, of mine, depending on who all are involved in that particular event, in that particular experience that we want to manifest. Experience is where we observe with our thought and feeling. So with our thought and feeling is what we have as an experience with the thought and feeling. So what is an experience? An experience consists of people, places, and things in a given time frame. When I use people, I'm using for life forms, right? People, animals, beings, all that under one category. Places, another category, things. So people, place, and things that define the space, right? People, place, and things define the space. In a given time frame defines the time. So every experience that we have is always around about people, places, things in a given time frame, right? Now, if you understand a normal language, it is nothing but our body, our environment. Our environment is where you get more people, places, things. And third thing is our past. Our body and environment is all about space. Our past, where there is no space, the thoughts are there, the memories are there, but it is in a given time frame. The space existed before, but is no longer there. Suppose you had a phone 10 years ago, that phone does not exist with you, but you still have the memory of the phone with you, right? So that is still being in time, right? You carry that thought, then you're in time. So now, our observation is collapsing the possibilities. Our observation is thoughts and feelings. And then if everything in our life is about events and experiences, because they're all nothing but people, places, things in a given time frame, then what do you want to manifest? If everything we have is experiences, then we want to manifest experiences. Because experiences are the events of our life with places, people, and things. So we want to manifest experiences, not manifest things or people or places. Remember, we want to manifest an experience, which you have them. So in the energy science principle, first thing we see is that we don't ask for money. We don't ask for this person. We don't ask for that. Instead, you look for what? You look for experiences surrounding those things. When you look for experiences, so that's why what we said is you're defining your goals, but then you very quickly we said, define your experiences around that goal that you want to seek to have in your life. Right? So, every event that we are seeing in our life is nothing but a sequence of electrons, because an event is about person, places, and things, and so it is a sequence of what? It is a sequence of electrons, protons, neutrons collapse in a specific pattern. What is a pattern? Say, let's say all of us here came together for this event. So our electrons of all of our protons are all collapsed here. Now for this to be agreed, maybe your family members have to agree. So they also are part of this event, right? For us to do this event, Pyramid Valley management has to agree. So they're also part of this event. So their electrons and ours, everything has been agreed because they also put thought. They also have memories of this event already while making a decision, right? Your family members have memories of this event already because while letting you come here. So all of us already have produced an event or set of experiences around it, right? So we have a dense set of perhaps mass here in this room, and then here and there a sparse set of mass, maybe in the Pyramid Valley management team in their minds, and then in the various families all over the world, right? Wherever you come from. So all of that is nothing but that sequence of particles and electrons, neutrons. That's what I meant when I say every experience is nothing but a sequence of matter, right? In a specific pattern that is manifest, right? Which is so spread out everywhere, right? So dear friends, and these events are experienced through thoughts and feelings. Now, the science is saying, the research is saying that our life every day, what we experience today is same as what we experienced yesterday. 95% of what we experience today is same as yesterday. This is because if thoughts and feelings create reality, you can easily put together and say 95% of what we have today in our mind is same as yesterday. That's because we understood that day one, it is the programming that we have in a subconscious mind. Our mind has thousands of thoughts. In that, 80% are negative. Another 15% are redundant. So 95% every day we have these redundant and negative thoughts that are constantly projecting for ourselves. And so what you expect? Consciously maybe thinking that I want to manifest this thing, I want to manifest that thing, I want to become this and this, become that. But however, subconsciously we are already programmed from the past of various experiences that were so negative for us, fearful or anxious or worrisome, stressful thoughts and feelings that we brood over again and again, live them again and again, think about them again and again, without knowing. Without knowing, we have a loss, we keep on regretting about the loss. We have an argument with somebody, we keep on repeating it with frustration to every person that we come across. Not knowing that neuroscience model of creating that more and more. Because the more you repeat it, the more it is going into the subconscious. We learned how the brain is learning. Right? The brain is learning with feelings a lot more, with a visual to some extent, with merely as a thought a little extent. So now every time you relive a past experience, and the more times you relive an experience which is of not supportive nature, then the more you are creating that experience because it is straight going into your brain more and more deeply. Right? When I said this morning that with regular meditation you are building a super highway, and when because you are installing a circuit of meditation, circuit of doing that thing which is going to support you very well. But then not knowingly, in a wakeful time, without meditation, then we're building a super highway of various those negative feelings and memories. So we are building so many super highways. So the moment we see a trigger of a person or somebody, then immediately we are axing the super highway straight going in and then pushing a body into a negative emotion. But now in this workshop, we are learning to install a super highway of meditation, which is going to help us get into experience something larger. So dear friends, if 95% of our day is same as yesterday, and this is because if 95% of our thoughts are either redundant or negative, then clearly we learned that we want to elevate or change our thoughts. And we learned we want to change our feelings. That's it. Essence is that we have to change our thoughts and we have to change our feelings, right? So our thoughts are fundamentally are driven through the conscious mind and subconscious mind, right? We've learned anything that repeats goes more into, it gets recorded more. Anything that repeats. We also learned that another way things get recorded is by sudden experience. If we had a traumatic experience, that you're a sudden happy moment or a deeper experience of a moment, that also records immediately. You don't have to get married 10 times to record your marriage experience, all right? You know it because you are experiencing it so deeply, it gets recorded, right? But however, most of the time, our memory, the thoughts are recorded with repetition, right? So our idea is to when these thoughts are recorded, every time we're experiencing an event, a thought is coming in, a thought producing a feeling, and the feeling is going back and then triggering another thought, so we're continuing a thinking, feeling loop. So if you are talking about an accident or an argument, then when the argument comes, it produces a certain level of emotion into the body. That emotion in the body is immediately triggering another signal into your mind, saying that you're feeling really bad. And then as soon as the trigger goes into the mind is now trying to pull out another argument that you had with that person maybe 10 years ago. It's going to try to pull out one more argument that you had with some other person a few years ago. It's going to pull out one more argument they had, your friend has shared with you about an argument they had with a similar person. So this is what the mind is about. Mind is always storing information, adjoining information, very beautifully connecting all the things. So thoughts and feelings are in a loop continuously. The more we experience something, the more we are conditioning the body, so the body is immediately triggering for another thought related. So we go into this loop. So we have to break this loop. When there is a business failure, people brood over this for 3 months. You ask them and say, hey, what's going on? They say, I'm in a mood, don't disturb me, guy. Which means that they are into that. They got stuck in that mood. They don't come out at all. So we got to break that. And then we said, the best way to break this pattern is by elevating our thoughts. And then what is the way to do it? Can anybody tell? What's the way to elevate your thoughts? Clear goals, setting the vision of the future. Elevating thoughts, changing our thoughts from the general thoughts that are constantly coming is by defining a clear goal for yourself for which you're going to be excited, right? Elevated thoughts is about defining a very clear goal or a vision for you. If you don't have a goal, then the CEO of the brain does not have any clear work. If we have a goal, then the CEO of the brain is saying, okay, this conscious wants to get here. And then so it is constantly is helping to organize all the brain faculties around that goal. Right? So we got to have a clear vision of the goal for which you're inspired. That means what? When you wake up, you bring it up in your mind. You are seeing in the mirror, it has to come to you and say, yes, this is why I'm living. Do we have a goal that is inspiring to us? Right? But how do we know that we have a goal inspiring to us? Meditation. Meditation is going to give us clarity over a period of time. We start somewhere, but then meditation will slowly help us to gain clarity to say, is this I want or is this that I want? But certainly meditation has given the clarity. Until the time, of course, we start with something. Today I want to go and say, I need to go into this technology. Or I have to start this non-profit foundation. You may not be very clear about it. So be it, but start somewhere. You start it. Because within the current understanding, this is what you want to do. And whenever that goal is inspiring, then you are thinking about it. It is there actually in your mind. You're contemplating about it. Every time you contemplate, dear friends, then you're giving work to the CEO of the brain. This cortex, neocortex is the whole brain. In that the front side is called frontal cortex, is the point which takes the contemplative idea and then tries to pull all the information related to that idea. Your brain has so much information. All those negative thoughts that are needed for that, it will not let those come up. Instead, it's trying to gain you information about this goal you have. So the first thing is that we got to have a vision of the future, right? We have to define a clear goal. We have to set that intent. And we talked about a goal. It should not be an ambiguous goal. I want a lot of money. No. I want a lot of success. No. I want a good relationship. Okay, so good, lot, high, these are all are relative. For this quantum field, everything is an experience. High and low, you have to define. Everything is an electromagnetic signature. Everything is there as an event, as an experience that you have. So you want to define what is high for you, right? I am running a company with 100 employees. Is one goal versus I am running a company of a large company. A large company can be just 5 people too. For someone who's only been an employee in a very ordinary job, 5 people company can be very big. We know that, right? We know that. So, and hence, dear friends, our goal has to be very clear, unambiguous. Unambiguous means, ambiguity means there is room for interpretation in many different ways. I interpret one way, you interpret another way. So you got to make it as specific as possible. The more specific you are, that means the more clearer your intent is. The more clearer your intent is, the more easy for the other side to give you that back, right? If you go to your mom and ask, I need brinjal curry, mom does not know what kind of curry you want, right? You may be expecting brinjal fry, but she'll give you something with drumsticks, right? The gravy, and then later you realize and say, Mom, why did you make this to me? Come on, we didn't tell them, right? It's an assumption. You tell that I want a fry, right? I want brinjal fry, nicely with cashews and whatever that is, right? So it has to be that specific. The more specific we can be, dear friends, the more faster the other side can give us back. Very simple, isn't it? Right? We do this. When I go to restaurants, we know very specific about what we want, right? It's exactly like that. This whole manifestation model is that this whole universe, that quantum field with unlimited possibilities, that means you have infinite amount of dishes are there. It's only your imagination to ask what you want, right? And then you got to be as clear as possible. You got to ensure that you communicate so well. So for that is what we said, dear friends. We introduced the concept of creative visualization. We introduced the concept of creative visualization. First we have a notion, understanding this catalog is infinite. We got to start from there. And that's why we are doing this meditation, to go into this, touch into the field of this quantum field, to touch into the portals of this quantum field. We are getting into that field to understand that there is this infinite space. How do we understand it? We go through various meditation experiences to feel greater, to feel different than the body. You have these experiences that you know for sure are not coming from your mind. You're not thinking. You're not projecting. Right? In a meditation, your body is shaking. Sure, you know that you're not shaking the body. So every time we experience these meditation experiences, then we know that you are larger than the body. Right? Then you are recognizing at that point your understanding, your belief about something exists beyond the body slowly starts cementing. It becomes stronger and stronger. Otherwise, your analytical mind constantly saying, I am here earning only 10,000 rupees a month. How could you even think of 10 lakh rupees a month? It just does not let you think. It's just not possible. You have 1,000 reasons to believe that it's not possible. The mind is going to tell you that. You know, you got only 1 year experience. You come from a poor background. You can't speak good English. You are sitting in this remote village somewhere near Vizag. So where is the question? All opportunities are only in Bangalore or Delhi. You are not even there. You don't have skills. So it's not just possible to have it. But dear friends, all successful people, if that's how they thought, then they wouldn't have achieved in their early ages. Without anything, if Dhirubhai Ambani could make it, because he had a dream and a vision. Without anything, Mahatma Gandhi could make it. But they worked for it. It didn't happen overnight. For Mahatma Gandhi, it is, how long can anybody tell how long was that goal that he continued and continued and continued? How many years? How many days? The goal to get independent India, how many years did it take? 42 years. 1905, he started this movement. He came from South Africa and said, I got to do something about India and the freedom. So 1905 to 1947, that is 42 years of relentless work. He didn't give up. A lot of times when we start visualizing, when we start dreaming, one of the principles of manifestation science is that time and space are not ours. We got to let this happen. It can happen before, it can happen much later. But it sure is happening because it is there in the catalog. It's got to come. Because you've been asking and then somebody is working for you, it's going to happen. Because how is it happening? Your observation. That's the science. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. So dear friends, so first thing we said is, in order to go into an elevated thought, you got to have a goal. When you don't have a goal, then we are just generally bouncing around. You don't have a goal, then your family is going to tell you, hey, you got tomorrow free time, can you go and then help me here? Oh, you're getting summer holidays, can you come and then do me help here? You don't have a goal, in the evening 5 o'clock, then your boss is coming and telling you, hey, anyway, can you do this work for us? Tomorrow this client wants something. But when you have a goal, you're going to express it. But do you have the courage to express it? Meditation. Meditation helps us to give clarity to define our goals, but meditation is also giving us the strength to express it. It gives us self-awareness and self-expression. Self-awareness is leading us towards our thoughts and feelings and say, hey, this is not I want, I want something else. Immediately move into that goal, because self-awareness. Every moment you become so sensitive to your body, your mind, that you will be able to recognize and immediately shift. That's meditation. But meditation is also giving self-expressiveness, that you truly claim what is yours. If you want to become a music teacher or you want to learn music, you always wanted to do it. Now you set a goal to learn music. Now you also need courage to express. When your family is asking, hey, sit here and then manage this person, then you got to express and say, listen, I got this 2 hours, is mine, so I got this. So you need the courage to express it. You claim truly, because meditation is giving that confidence. Self-awareness, self-expression. Meditation is fundamentally increasing our emotional intelligent quotient significantly. Right? So, defining a vision of the future and then being on it with the creative visualization is how we are constantly making it clear and clear to the field on one side, and then second, we are constantly reprogramming our subconscious. We are tossing out the old beliefs and then putting this new goal of vision, right? Cells that use it or lose it is a neuroscience principle. So if you don't fire the old circuits of that loss, of that anger related issue, of that frustrated issue, of that withdrawal issue, whatever that is, if you don't fire them, that means you don't think about them, and you don't have the opportunity to think about them because you already are visualizing about a goal. And then every time you visualize, your mind is full of it. Right? So mind is full of those thoughts, so you don't have opportunity to fire the old circuits. So old circuits, slowly you lose them, and then you are repeating these, you're visualizing them, you are fundamentally installing a new circuit. So you're slowly reprogramming the subconscious about it. Now that is number one. Number two then is about your feelings. Thoughts and feelings. So one was the thought, second is the feeling. So we all, with our conditioning for this life and then over lifetimes, with our conditioning of this life and then over lifetimes, they have so much conditioning that we are limiting ourselves with so many limiting beliefs. We understood limiting beliefs of we have to work hard to make it big. I'm an unlucky person. I don't have good resources. As a woman, I have a lot of disadvantage in society. These big companies do not treat people well. All these things are there as limiting beliefs. Every limiting belief is about either a person, again, think back, either a person, either a place, or other thing. It's about one of those three. Cell phones are bad. A belief. Do you agree with me that cell phones are bad is a limiting belief? No? Cell phones are bad? It is the way we use is what defines something bad or good. It is a window into the universe, right? Internet, when it came, internet became the third eye, right? It is a window into before the internet TV came. Sitting at home, you're able to see everything. Then internet came, now as a fingertips, you wanted to see, TV was only giving what they wanted to take, it's programming, right? You have to be very careful what you want to listen into, but they're programming. That's why it's called TV program, right? We constantly program ourselves. Then the internet came. Then you had to go somewhere, but you still had an opportunity to see what you want to see. But then mobile phone, you don't have to go anywhere, it's with you, right? So it is a good thing. If you use it, if you know how to use it well, right? So these are all limiting beliefs. And why is it so? If cell phone is bad, then we wouldn't be having the experience we had in the last 4 days, isn't it? Because we all had to use the phone though. Contrary to a typical retreat that we say, hey, put all the gadgets away. Okay, I don't want my friend to hear this, right? That's a different thing. Digital detox is required as much, but we're not, of course, doing everything on the phones. We need to use it for music, right? Music is beautiful for meditation. So technology is always beautiful if we know how to use it. We got to use it to the advantage, right? Technology is there to enable us to move further. So give a big clap to this technology, which is literally changing the way consciousness can be explored. I'm amazed. The difference of meditation experience when I did it first time with earphones, without earphones is incredibly different, right? So I'm amazed at how the technology is coming. Even the music is morphed digitally in many, many ways, right? So what? It is, as long as it's good, it gives us that kick, excitement to go into it. Why not we use it, right? Why not we use it? Absolutely. Zoom. What a technology. So we could connected all of us so beautifully. Right? Strong. They're equally strong because without knowing we've built it up for so many months and years. And so that has to be weakened. Slowly it's weakening because you don't fire them, but is that enough? You can always accelerate. Some beliefs you can't even let go that easily. Some beliefs you can't go that easily. Anything that touches, for example, your core beliefs around your religion, right? About your caste, about a community. For example, non-vegetarianism is a belief. People simply believe that you got to eat meat to become stronger. Some people believe that you got to eat meat because you come from this caste. That's it. They don't have an alternative. The parents and the elders did not present them an opportunity to have an alternative food. The only thing they told is, yeah, this particular, because giving us the courage to question what we do. While we do that, as part of this reprogramming beliefs, we said two things. Do anybody remember what are the three things? How do you change your beliefs? How do you reprogram your beliefs? Not looking at the slide. Yes, meditation absolutely is there. We said two things. The primary way you can reprogram the beliefs are by reading. We got to expand our knowledge. Learning to doing to being. When you learn something new, that questions your old belief. For example, relationships exist as a tools for you to grow yourself. Now, contrary to a belief that's been told that relationship is sacred and this is it, you got to do whatever required to make it exist. But relationship should only be supporting you to evolve, not should this confine you to be in it. Hey, you are my wife, you got to do it. You are my husband, you got to do this for me all the time. So there is a belief that has been brought up with and said, this is so sacred, this is it. Even if you lose your life, you don't lose this. But this spiritual science, when you read, is telling you, come here for your own experience. You are an individual free will entity. And you are utilizing all the relationships that exist in there for you to grow, for you to evolve, for you to experience more. So it questions our belief. Right? So we got to learn, we got to read. Learning to doing to being. Being is why? Because that's when it goes into the subconscious, you become of it. When you become of it, you change your vibration. When you change your vibration, then automatically you are ready to be what you want to be, as opposed to, hey, how do I save this relationship? That's the difference between being. You be by default about yourself, and how do I explore in a way that I'm continuously be happy. And of course, when you're happy, the principle is that people around you are going to be naturally happy. When you are happy truly, then people around you are going to be happy. This is the principle of spiritual science. All right? When you're happy, you're vibrating. Everything is energy, remember. When you're happy, what are you vibrating? You are with a loving emotion, a kindness, compassion, friendly emotion. So what you got out there as an energy, you're only sending that emotion, that high energy. So people around you naturally have to get that. They don't get a frustration signal. They don't get an anger signal. Right? So happy people around them, definitely people have to become happy. So that's the principle. First, we have to be happy. Right? Which means that we got to break our beliefs, and then we got to exercise our free will where you think is required to become better and better and better. Rather than continuously compromising and compromising and compromising and sacrificing. So the reprogramming beliefs, the main thing is by reading. I'm not saying that there is no give something to get something. That's always there. If you have a clear goal, if Manjula wants to do a 4 week of work here, and then if Pyramid Valley management told her that even though her interest is teaching, the management tells her that, hey, first week you got to do gardening, she will think and say, okay, so what? I'll do gardening because at least you get to do 3 weeks of teaching. Fine, you do it. So there is a good reason of why you do what you do. There's got to be an understanding about it. Every time we are doing something, you got to ensure that it is fit into a larger piece of the puzzle. Right? Then it is good. You know why you're doing what you're doing. But many times we do it because we have a belief. Without a reason, we are doing it because we have belief, and because of that we keep suppressing ourselves, and that is becoming more and more blockage. So dear friends, reprogramming beliefs is a fundamental aspect of manifestation science that requires reading books. There is no shortcut to it. But books are a beautiful way of enhancing of consciousness, expanding of wisdom. Beautiful. I have read thousands of books. A master, Patriji, says he's read 100,000 books, and I know that he's been reading. And Sir reads books of book after book every day. I've seen him read so many books. Every day there will be something or other introduced every time we go to him. And he's one gem of a master, rare master to have, who's got enormous wisdom. And so when you have so much of wisdom, then automatically your beliefs have to go away because you are supporting with this expansive wisdom. So number one. Number two, we said, tactically, when we are setting our goals, while we keep reading about additional new wisdom so that our beliefs, our limiting beliefs, our goals will also go away. But however, we also said, let's develop some empowering beliefs. Affirmations, right? Let's develop some empowering beliefs by writing a set of limiting beliefs for our goal, and then develop an empowering belief. An empowering belief is simply nothing but something that inspires us, supported by a scientific fact or a spiritual science fact of how things are. Like my cancer cannot be healed is a belief. What says now? Quantum physics says, or spiritual science says, that all diseases are psychosomatic. So if I fix my psyche, I can fix the soma, the body. And so I know that it's possible. So there is a scientific fact around it. Then along with that, you also want some inspiration. You want to see really somebody actually implemented it. It is only theory, there is a practical. So there is a theory, you know it, and then you want some practice for which you are finding an example of a similar background. So it becomes an inspiration, right? So that's how you develop an empowering beliefs, a set of them. And then when you have these empowering beliefs or affirmations, so then you got it. So we've got a clear goal and a vision of the future. And around it, we set up, develop, and say, what am I limiting myself with to achieve that goal, right? I want to become a CEO, but I keep thinking I don't have that experience, right? I want to become the software company CEO. I keep thinking that I don't have enough resources. I'm not good enough. So these things have to go away because those are the beliefs that have to go away. So we write those as the limiting beliefs and write an empowering belief for it. So when we have these, dear friends, with meditation as the foundation, we regularly meditate, and we regularly, at the end of the meditation, where we are empty-minded, then we start visualizing and dream about it. How long you dream about it? For as long as you want. In our practices, we have done 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? That's about the time we have taken to visualize. But we must read the book called You Are the Placebo, where Dr. Joe Dispenza, who had this serious accident that he had gone through, and then in order to repair his body, he used to visualize at a time for 3 hours. If you thought 15 minutes is a long time to visualize the future, then here is a person who is visualizing for 3 hours at a stretch without getting distracted. Every time you visualize, you get distracted of something else, then you would start fresh again. He writes it very clearly. So he was visualizing long enough because he truly believes it's going to work, and he wanted to get back into his work. He had a strong reason to believe it. But that happened under crisis for him. The question to you is, do you want to wait for crisis? Do you want to do it when we are ready to, when you know how this principle works? But the point is, we've got to do it for long enough time. visualize it, dream. We all are doing it in some way or the other, but we are making it a little more constructive. So then the principles then are meditate, empty yourself, and put that visualization process to work. Visualize for as long as you want. Affirm your goals, affirm your empowering beliefs, and then visualize and then dream about your future as long as you want. Right? So with that, at an essence of manifestation science, then if you recap it in a 5-point formula, right? And I'll talk about the 5th point. Be in the present moment with breath meditation. We're doing it, right? We do meditation, we're already in the present moment. Channelize the liberated energy into the present moment. When I say that, that's what it means. There is so much of thought, energy that is conserved because meditation is removing all the unwanted thoughts. So all that energy got to go somewhere, otherwise getting dissipated will go towards where? In the present moment. Why? In meditation, you are these things, you do checklist of checklist and checklist, but we can't follow the checklist because we're not mindful. We don't remember them. But meditation, the beauty is that brings that spark. If you still remember the learning, doing, being, I said, on one side you're frustrated, you're about to burst out, but then meditation brings you that spark of that giving a patient response, right? Exhibiting a patient's response. It always brings that a spark of the right thing at the right time. Why? Because consciousness, when you are meditating, you're becoming consciousness. And consciousness is always paying attention on each of us. Because it sees itself as us, and it wants to see you experience more. And in order to experience more, if you have these lower emotions, they are only disconnecting with people and places, so you experience less. If I go away from Jyoti, if I go from Madam and everybody, then I only experience less. I couldn't be having this experience. You would care about it. Oh, Chandra, no way. He was arrogant last time. So you don't even come here. So I won't have my experience. Right? So you want to be one with others. And that means you want to exhibit into the higher emotions, which means that this consciousness is always paying attention and then wants to give you the best at a given time. So that's how the right wisdom that we have will be pulled and then presented to us with meditation. That's called self-awareness. Right, dear friends? And so the second point, so we channelize all the energy into the present moment with meditation. Second thing, recognizing the infinite intelligence of this field or of that soul power. Patrici calls it the soul power. Manifestation is accessing the infinite soul power, accessing the infinite mind power. One side you access infinite soul power, another side visualization is infinite mind power. Combine these two, you have manifestation effectively. Right? Visualization during wakeful time, meditation time, the power of the soul. So this is how you actually marry these two. Right? So second one, recognizing the intelligence of the quantum energy field, we are spending as much time in it. Right? We want to become like a Sachin Tendulkar in cricket, we got to spend as much time with Tendulkar. We want to become this infinite, unlimited potential possibility because we are truly wanting to make it big. So then you have to be in that field for as long as you want. The more time you are in it, the more open, the more open you become. Right? The more open you become, the more you take it. Right? You're less fearful. Going into Himalayas first time is fearful. You go in a little bit, then you become a little more open. You say, yeah, last time I went, so let me go a little more. Then you go a little more. So this is how you explore. Right? You're becoming open and open each time, isn't it? Exactly what happens when you're doing meditation, we're going into it, we go through various experiences, we keep going more and more and more. All right? No different. Now when you go into that, it is unlimited, so we keep exploring it. Right? We keep exploring it. And so naturally, we are taking that unlimited power of this consciousness by going into meditation. Right? We're becoming that. This is number 2. Number 3 is elevated thoughts. I'm summarizing, right? Elevated thoughts and feelings. Elevated thoughts, visualize them. Number 4, reprogram your beliefs by setting your empowering beliefs. The last one is their difference. Before you go into meditation, the last one is accepting the current reality. Letting go, accepting the current reality that you're going through as is, then being able to also expressing gratitude in a way as an heightened emotion that's readily there for us to make use of it. Right? Accepting the current reality. We haven't talked about it. I'm manifesting, I'm meditating, every day I visualize. 1 month later, you feel, sir, nothing is happening. Instead, you feel that something opposite is happening. but we're not ready to accept it. Why? Our present, I want us to understand this, our present is based on our past thought. You would have already thought so many times that I'm going to fail, or I'm going to have this business loss because I know, just no way I would have, that would have been your state of mind, a state of being until yesterday. So there is so much that has been put out already into the field. So what do you expect? It has to be nullified, right? It has to be nullified. You got to go back and then put in more and more and more vibration energy. So in case something shows up before you want, whatever you want to happen, accept the current reality, because it is still what you're putting out there is still continuing to be there. It's got to come back to you. It is going to come back to you. That happened in my case. When I started growing the company, in the second one, 2.0, business was growing, but then there is a point where it stalled. It's growing, it grew, but then suddenly it stalled. Deep inside somewhere I know that, okay, things are not happening. Accepting was important at that point. For me to say there must be a good reason of why it is stalled. Okay? If you connect the dots, prior to that, me thinking about this whole beliefs that, okay, it's not possible, my company did not have adequate known investors, didn't have adequate global customers, all those thoughts were there repeatedly. And so there's so much that I put in, of course, all of that is going to come back as stalling the business. Right? Somewhere it has to reflect. But then when I recognized it, then I was able to develop patience to be waiting for it, waiting for the result. So we got to accept the current reality. Manifestation is there, but you got to accept the current reality as is, because it is the result of the past. Number one. Number two, when you recognize that intelligence, there is this intelligence, right? Our body is producing, in every second, it produces 2.5 crores of cells, 25 millions of cells. You and I don't even know. Right? All these billions of planetary things are actually very coherently working, right? Nothing came and hit the earth in our lifetime, isn't it? So how is that possible? How is that possible? We throw a ball and it just comes down in no time, whereas this big earth is rotating around things, and then so many planet stars are perfectly synchronously rotating. How is that possible? We all agree, and you got to agree that there is this intelligence which exists somewhere. If you're still doubting, then you don't have to be in this class. We got to take to another lifetime to evolve. If you understand that intelligence exists, and then experiment with it. There's no need to be blind belief, but experiment with it, right? So that intelligence that always exists. What is the point I was talking? I don't know where I was going with this intelligence. Yes, I was talking about accepting the current reality. So one is, the reality of current is based on the past. And if that's not enough, understand, like that example of the signal, green signal, the two people are going and only one can get it. Only one can get it. Consciousness is paying attention, doesn't want you to get killed. So it's only given to one person a green, and then it is only given to who is it given? It is given to the person who is going to give the consciousness maximum experience. What does it translate to? It translates to potentially you enabling more people through your manifestation, right? Yes, that's a beautiful way of saying it. If you want to know the electricity exists, go and touch it, then you really know it. All right. But consciousness is not that harsh, right? So that is there. That intelligence is there. That intelligence is paying attention. And that's why we say in manifestation, time and space are not ours. It's paying attention to you, and it wants to help you it wants to enable you to experience that whatever you're wishing for, right? But you got to have patience, because it's constantly trading off and saying, who should I give at this point, which is the right thing for that person? If it given green to both of them, then one of them would have gone, or both of them would have gone, right? So and hence it is always choosing the right, making the right choices. So we got to understand that much. If you have a mentor, and if you recognize that the mentor is really experienced and then a successful mentor, then you would follow the mentor when the mentor gives you. When you go there and say, what should I do? And you follow the mentor. Rather than trusting that the mentor is giving the right thing. Mentor may say, you want to go and then immediately open your office in somewhere again, immediately. The mentor says, don't do anything like this. Instead, go and then open in down south, not in north. Then it's completely opposite, right? You wanted to go up in the north and open an office to expand your company, but you're opening in the south. It's opposite your direction. But then because you believed in the mentor, you say, okay, you must be right, so I'll take it. This is exactly how it works. What we receive, right now we got to recognize that this intelligence always is knowing about it and then we accept it, right? We accept difference. So acceptance is fundamental, right? Letting go, so when you accept, naturally we let go. We hold on to it, then of course we're going to regret about it, and we repeat about it, crib about it, complain about it. It has to happen. This is one of the very important aspects of manifestation. A lot of people say, oh, you're meditating, you're still like this. Just because you're meditating doesn't mean that you become like a superhero or a heroine in the overnight, right? Because everybody has their own limitations. They're going to get better and better and better. Same way, manifestation also the same way. You're asking for it, you're applying your energy, but it's going to manifest, it's going to come into you at the right time and place. There are so many dynamics that keep changing, isn't it? Yet you believe that you have the power to influence because our thoughts and feelings create reality. We are doing it, but at the same time applying with that intelligence, simultaneously lock, step and barrel. Lock, step and barrel, we are working together with it, right? Accepting the current reality, knowing fully that it's going to happen. That example I gave you, that when that salesman wanted to give that palace, right, that the castle to that media company, they said, hey, it may not happen, but he was very open. He was ready to accept, but he's very open, and then he continued to believe in the process, and he continued on it. So it happened because he believed that then the process is right. Okay? So he continued. So we got to continue believing in no matter what adverse situation we may have in our manifestation, we got to continue our manifestation process. A lot of people abandon the process the moment they find something that's not in line with what they think is the way to go. Because oftentimes when you make a goal, we set a means to the end. We want to say, this is the way I must manifest it, right? If you want to come to Pyramid Valley, the only thing you know is by bus. Suppose you only have money for bus. So you say, okay, bus. Oh, it's 5 o'clock, the last bus is there, bus is gone, I can't go. That is called focusing on the means to the end. Whereas your goal should be to get to Pyramid Valley. Who knows, there may be 3 people, one by car, one by helicopter, another by bike coming and then saying, hey, you want to come to Pyramid Valley. It's possible, right? So you got to be that open. Even though we missed the last bus, we got to be open because anything can happen. So that's essentially is saying that letting go and then accept what is happening right now so that anything can happen, you be an open-minded. Now gratitude, I want to play this video on gratitude. Gratitude is a free, elevated emotion that's available for all of us. Gratitude, expressing thank you for whatever that we have, is a natural way of elevating ourselves in a higher emotion. When you're in a higher emotion, you're in a higher state of being, right? It's all about moving ourselves in a higher state of being. That heart elevation that we are doing is by default moving us in a higher state of being. Because ultimately we said if you change your state of being, then of course you manifest and you attract that kind of experiences. That's all it is, right? And so gratitude is also another higher state of being. Easy to do, isn't it? It's easy to thank somebody who has helped us, right? We don't have to work hard for it. And hence, we take time to express gratitude. So which ways, right? So just let's watch this video.
Look for miracles.